Listen. The Lodge is a horror film that we caught back at Sundance in 2019, but now that it's out and since it's a neon movie, you know they have that Hulu plug that lets you stream it at home, which is the best place to be for it considering it has one of the most depressing endings of 2020. Let me explain. So I've been following these directors for a while now. In fact, they were one of the early Explain videos I did way back before Men's Health started doing this genre. And Goodnight Mommy was actually the Austrian entry for Best Foreign Language Film at the 88th Oscars. Just didn't get nominated.
We got like hundreds of scripts, most of them about twins. Like,
yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah, they thought we are the leading experts.
Nah, they don't like twins. They just love evil kids. This would mark their first English language film. They even got Yorgos go-to cinematographer, Themios, who absolutely killed it with the movie, shooting it in 35mm. They were able to shoot on location in the cold. But these two are different.
I sat down with them, and then they hired me, and then after they hired me, they were like, oh, we really liked you because you had nothing prepared.
Really, their whole style is the polar opposite to American filmmaking.
In Europe, you would never pitch, as a director, you would never do a pitch for a film. It's just not how the system works in Europe. Then we found out, okay, they sent it not only to us, but to 10 other directors, and you have basically to pitch yourself, and we are not good.
We tried to convince producers that we're not the right people for the job. And we're very good at that, actually.
In fact, one of them used to babysit for the other when he was 14 and got paid in VHS tapes.
Yeah, actually, it makes no sense in retrospect.
So knowing that about the directors, full spoilers for The Lodge. Pretty much the movie revolves around this family who's slowly falling apart. The dad wants to finalize the divorce so he can move on to the younger version of his wife, which the kids absolutely hate. Like, the daughter even has a doll dressed up like the mom.
You're lucky that can go right back in.
Let me see if her head can go right back.
It doesn't. Christmas is right around the corner, and considering all the crosses in the mom's house, they're clearly very religious.
She can't go to heaven. She can't go to heaven.
Nobody knows where we go.
And yet, for whatever reason, the father decides that it's a good idea to leave his kids with his wife-to-be after the brutal suicide of their mother in a lodge in the middle of nowhere.
It's all her fault.
What's her fault?
Now, I've heard the production talk about this being like a European versus American difference about how you leave it. Nah, this girl survived being in a cult. Like, he was researching her and then got with her. Like, that ain't a culture thing. That's a Mr. J thing.
It's a horror story, but it's also about a woman who's gone through a lot of trauma.
Mm-hmm. Grace may have been found, but she forgets her place once they reach the lodge. Because look, nobody wants to hear their future stepmom give them a talk, because you're not there to replace their mom.
I just want you to know that I'm here if you want to talk to me about anything.
Why would I talk to you?
I think the film we made or we wanted to make is, in this case, that it's about there is no one who is kind of a bad guy, actually. They are all kind of victims in their own way.
All the things the lodge is about, many times people don't watch it unless it's packaged as a horror or a thriller, you know, and then they want to watch these dark topics. That's the main reason I think it's compared a lot to Hereditary. A lot of it would be the timing of it, but you do have a family grieving the loss of a loved one with their faith being their anchor, contrasted with a woman recovering from that faith that blinded her. But look, I don't care what you talk about people being innocent and whatnot. This was premeditated.
I was just pretending.
If this whole movie were a YouTube video, it would have been flagged immediately. Like, I get grieving, but pushing your stepmom to believe that she's in purgatory after stealing her pills and knowing her history, like, these kids made Macaulay go.
Grace.
These kids were planning things with that dollhouse early on. He took candles because he knew the lights would be out. He was messing with time, stealing dogs that would eventually die, literally gaslighting. He can already edit videos, so a picture wasn't going to be a problem. Like, I don't know what courts they have in Austria, but pulling a Cosby don't fly here.
I don't have boundaries.
Look, I have not trusted this kid since Book of Henry, and now they got Cap defending him.
Was it freezing there?
Very.
They wanted me to jump in the ice pool, in the hole in the ice. And everyone in the world told them that that's not gonna happen. Yeah, they need a stunt person.
It was completely safe, but it was a little bit scary.
I feel really bad for Riley because the directors tried to keep us separate as much as possible. Yeah. So we would do fun things like go rock climbing and ice skating, have a blast.
And I would just see it on Instagram. If it was like after lunch or something and I wasn't like really cold, they would make me go lay in the snow in the woods.
That sounds awful.
They wanted to turn off the heating in the lodge and make it really cold, so we were actually cold. But they weren't allowed.
That's
to do
the thing with filmmakers; they want it to be real.
They're from Austria, so there's not that
I mean,
many
yeah.
rules.
And then they would roll. They would be like, keep rolling, and then they'd go inside and set up the shot.
So in order to roll, they had her roll in the snow. It's crazy, but yeah, it's effective. Kubrick did that back in the day by scarring one of his actresses, and no one gives him crap for that. They consider him a legend. And these two played it really close. Like, Jaeden is Aiden, Leah is Mia, Richard's Richard. I'm surprised Riley wasn't Miley, but they did in fact actually cast Riley Keough's real father to play the cult leader, because he just so happened to grow up in a cult-like background. So, surprisingly, the Keoughs were more prepared than we thought.
Lose your luggage on the way to a film festival, or catch a cold at a film festival.
Luggage.
Catch a cold.
I'm with you.
Catch a cold too.
Catch a cold.
And that's why Riley survived. Now, the theming and interpretation of the ending vary depending on who you ask. That includes the directors. While the ending we get has Riley off of her medication, fully believing the prank and accepting that she's in purgatory, obviously killing them all because there's really no take-backsies once you get there. They did have an original ending, which actually ended on the twist, but these two, of course, wanted to see what grim things would happen afterwards, because why not? Even then, it does seem like they changed their other original ending while filming that actually reflected the dollhouse from the beginning.
It starts with the dollhouse, and the whole film should have ended with the camera like flying out of the house, and then you have
making
this
them
house looking like the
dollhouse.
actors and the house again like a dollhouse, which conceptually made total sense to us. But still, like, for the camera to pull back and go out of the house, it takes a long time in a way, and it felt too big, like the gesture in a way.
I personally prefer that one. Why change it when that's already something that you've established at the beginning? You know, to me, I think it would have made the story come full circle. I think it keeps people guessing on what's real or not and who's really pulling the strings, and it keeps the audience in a purgatory state of not knowing who to blame. That said, nah, I'm blaming the dead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you sick? Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like I said, I really love the production behind the movie and the camera work. You know, it's always interesting to see foreign filmmakers make the American jump, but I love how these two just don't care. Like, I kind of respect how much they're being their own thing. It's a different approach than what American producers obviously want to see, and they've talked about it, as you can see here. It still doesn't mean it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. I myself prefer Goodnight Mommy over this one, but, you know, even then, others may not. But I do wish, you know, I'm not sure if it was like because they didn't want to copy Hereditary, considering the timing of it, or because of budget reasons like they talked about, but I really wish they got that ending that they were talking about, because I don't know, I feel like it would have made the movie better. Like, you know, I catch Hereditary now, and it was like on the 5th time where I noticed in Hereditary that the glimmer from Andy's magnifying glass was the thing that's following him throughout. You know, like, that's what makes a movie. A fun fact about this one, though, they didn't allow Jack Frost clips with Michael Keaton's voice. Like, they wanted Jack Frost in the movie, but Michael Keaton has a clause about, like, not using his voice specifically for that movie. I have absolutely no idea. I just thought that was a crazy thing to note right there, but I am curious to know your guys' thoughts, any interpretations that you have. If you've, I don't know, ever gone through something like this, what advice you would give. Let me know your thoughts, interpretations, themes, all that stuff, any other recommendations you have. Until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and your sins will